I still hear the sound first before the faces, before the words, before the anger even had time to settle in my chest. Paper tearing. Clean, confident, deliberate. Not an accident. Not a mistake. A decision. The hostess had just handed me the reservation card when the man reached over, plucked it out of my hand like it belonged to him, and ripped it straight down the middle. No hesitation. No glance at the name. His girlfriend laughed, actually laughed, and then stepped on the pieces with the pointed heel of her shoe, grinding them into the polished floor like she was putting out a cigarette. "Sorry," she said, phone already lifted, camera facing me. "Did we just ruin your little plan?" "Yeah, that happened." I stood there, hands at my sides, trying to process how fast a normal Friday night had gone sideways. I was wearing a plain gray sweater, dark jeans, old leather boots. Nothing flashy, nothing loud. The kind of outfit you wear when you want to enjoy a good meal and disappear into your thoughts for a while. The restaurant was packed, low lights, soft music glasses, clinking that hum of money and comfort people like to pretend they earned morally. And suddenly, all of it went quiet. People were watching. I could feel it. Phones came out subtle at first, then not subtle at all. The couple had claimed the corner VIP booth, the best seat in the place, curved leather skyline view. They sat there like they'd conquered something, like they'd won. The guy leaned back and smiled at me, the kind of smile that doesn't reach the eyes. "This table's taken," he said. "You should probably move along." I remember thinking, not angrily, not yet, just confused how easily some people decide who belongs and who doesn't. I took a breath. "I have a reservation," I said, "for that table. 9 o'clock. He laughed again. "Yeah, no." We asked. It was open. The hostess stepped in fast, almost rehearsed. Apologetic tone, empty eyes. She told me they were seated. First policy was, "Policy, maybe I'd like another table." She gestured toward the back near the kitchen, the kind of table you give to walk-ins and complaints. The girlfriend tilted her phone closer to my face. "Guys," she said to her live stream, "this random dude is trying to steal our table." At this place, the comments started flying. You could see it in her eyes, the thrill of it. The audience, the validation. People calling me entitled, broke, embarrassing. Someone typed, "security." Someone else wrote, "This is why they have dress codes." I checked my watch, 2 minutes past my reservation time. That tiny window where people decide you don't matter anymore. I felt it then, that familiar sting. Not new, just old. The memory of being underestimated, of being looked through instead of at. Of knowing if I raised my voice even a little, I'd become exactly what they already decided I was. So I stayed calm. I asked to speak to the manager. When he came out, sharp suit, polished smile, expensive watch, catching the light, I knew immediately whose side he was on. He barely glanced at my confirmation before telling me my table had been released. No show policy. Tight schedule. Peak hours. He said it like he was explaining the weather. I told him I was 3 minutes late. He shrugged. The couple watched amused, like this was a show written just for them. "Sir," the manager said, lowering his voice, "I'm going to have to ask you to leave if you continue to cause a disturbance." That word. Disturbance. I hadn't raised my voice, hadn't touched anyone, hadn't insulted anyone. But standing there asking for what I'd reserved, that was enough. My phone buzzed in my pocket. I ignored it. Then it buzzed again. And again. The guy in the booth noticed. "You waiting for someone important?" He smirked. "Your ride." Laughter rippled through the room. The girlfriend zoomed in on my face, narrating like she was hosting a reality show. "This is kind of sad, honestly," she said. "Like, imagine being this desperate." That's when security appeared. 2 big guys, black suits, earpieces. They didn't look at the couple. They looked at me. "Sir," one of them said, already stepping closer, "you need to come with us." The girlfriend's phone shook with excitement. Viewer count climbing. Comments flooding. This was her moment. The guy leaned back in the booth. Finally, he said, "I was getting bored." Then, almost casually, he added, "You might want to check his pockets. He looks like the type who might walk off with something." The room inhaled sharply. That accusation, soft and poisonous, hung in the air. I felt something crack just slightly right behind my ribs. I looked at him. Are you accusing me of stealing? He raised his hands, mock innocent. I'm just saying. Mistakes happen. The manager nodded, already building his version of the story. Trespassing, harassment, aggressive behavior. Words stacked neatly against me. I stepped back before the guard could touch me. My voice stayed even. Before you do this, I said I want to show you something. I reached into my bag and pulled out a thin folder. Nothing dramatic, just paper. The guy laughed out loud. The girlfriend zoomed in. Oh my God, she said he's got documents. I placed one sheet on the nearest table. Read the letterhead, I said to the guard. He hesitated, then read it. His posture changed. Just a fraction. Enough. The manager snatched the paper, scanning fast. Color drained from his face like someone pulled a plug. What does that stand for? I asked him quietly. Silence. I pulled out another page, and another. Revenue statements, ownership certificates, signatures, dates, numbers that didn't sound real until they were. The girlfriend's stream exploded. Wait, is this real? I told them the truth calmly, like it wasn't even the most important part. That I owned the restaurant. That I'd purchased it weeks earlier. That the group behind it owned hundreds more. The guy in the booth stopped smiling. I looked at him and said, "You were right about one thing. Possession matters." The room went still. The manager stammered. Apologies tumbled out clumsy and late. He said if he'd known, if he'd realized, if he'd understood. I asked him a simple question. Would you have treated me differently if I looked like money? No one answered. The girlfriend's live stream turned from mockery to evidence in real time. People in the comments